And welcome everybody to episode 2/3 of Marvel's Oh What a Marvel What If. I mixed that up. It doesn't even matter. They produce our show of their show now from this point on. I'm Dean, your host. I got next to me, who's this dude?
I'm Sean. What's up? So here's what happened, right? I unmuted Dean first because he's the host, and I wanted him unmuted. So then he starts talking, and I had the show open in another tab because I was getting the link, right? And the music started to play, and I was like, something's wrong, and so I started to go, oh, what's going on? But I didn't interrupt the show because I was still muted, and so I fixed everything. And the only reason you guys know that anything was wrong is because I'm taking about 20 minutes right now to explain to you how things went wrong. And you would have never known if I didn't do this.
Yeah, speaking of people who never get anything wrong, we got Tyler as well this week. How are you doing?
Ooh, I don't know about that one.
Just take it. Just take it.
Hey, I'm here.
I'm going to scrub through all of the Falcon and Winter Soldier episodes and see if Tyler had a single theory that was wrong. I don't know.
That's a good thing to do.
Yeah, get more views on those videos.
Anyway, I'm excited to talk about this episode. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about last week's episode. We missed that. I don't know if anyone wants to get into that. Are we allowed
Definitely
to get into that? Yeah, we could definitely. Tyler, why don't you?
Josh can fire us. It's fine.
Yeah, give us some overall thoughts, quick, Tyler, if you don't mind, on last week's episode. We didn't get to speak to you about this.
Last week's episode about what if T'Challa was a Star-Lord was probably my most anticipated episode of the ones we knew about coming up. And I really liked it. I thought it was different enough from Black Panther and Guardians that it made for really interesting dynamics. Seeing fucking Josh Brolin as Thanos come in, I didn't know that was a thing that was happening.
No, they kept that under wraps quite nicely.
Yeah.
Gamora with unless you read the opening credits, which I don't, because I don't know how to read.
They tell you everything.
Gamora was a surprise to see. Not Gamora, the other one.
Nebula.
Yeah.
Always the forgotten daughter. So rude. Ouch.
The cyborg one.
Seeing the Who guy there, seeing Taserface, Drax. We didn't see Rocket or Groot, but that's okay.
I was watching in the background of the collector's place to see if either Rocket or Groot were maybe in there, but I didn't see them.
I thought there was going to be so many Easter eggs in that scene, but it doesn't seem to be like they would be all over the internet if there had been that many. I haven't gone back and looked.
A lot of Jeff Goldblum. What's his character? The
Jeff Goldblum, or do you mean
we got Benicio del Toro?
No. I mean Benicio? Jeff Goldblum. Who's his character?
Oh, what?
Grandmaster. A lot of his ships in the ship area, as well as that one that looks like a X-wing or something,
like the birthday party ship.
Yeah,
yeah, the birthday party ship.
It's a birthday.
But I think it was really good, and it shows that T'Challa is probably meant for greatness, no matter where he was.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Unlike Peter Quill, who is probably about to die in a Dairy Queen.
That ending was so good.
But definitely the one I like the most still overall, but more than the first one, especially. Because that one was sort of just like, kind of beat for beat the first, or Captain America First Avenger.
Yeah, see, I agree with what you say about how they kind of mixed it had the perfect mix of the elements of like the Guardians and the vibe of Black Panther, and it really did meld like the two tones for the most part. I thought Chadwick Boseman's performance was the best thing about the episode. Like, as much as I thought it was so much of a stretch to be like somebody just talked Thanos out of his whole life's like purpose.
Yeah, he just really
I believe that if anyone could do it. If anyone could do it, I believe it's that version of Star-Lord. Because
I don't know if I believe that.
Fuck, man, he was smooth.
I don't know.
They're like, dude, that was genocide, dude. And he's like, I don't know. There's something about it.
I'm so torn. I'm so torn about the Thanos in that episode because I fucking love him First of all, like I think Josh Brolin's performance as Thanos in that episode is incredible.
Yes.
But at the same time, like first episode I think was too close to the first Avenger movie.
This one took
I
too
think-
many leaps.
I think it was too far. I was like, how
Yeah.
the fuck does Black Panther
Yeah.
being how does T'Challa being Star-Lord make Thanos be a good guy now? Like I don't
Yeah,
I don't
really
buy
good
that.
They would
argument.
have had to have actively seeked out Thanos. Like, so what was the
Or
like?
show the conversation. At least.
Yeah.
At least I think I might have bought into it more if I could see the
Yeah,
conversation.
I mean,
But just leaving it off screen, I was like, what the fuck?
yeah, they set it up, and I don't agree with this either. But the whole Yondu relationship as well, like they all wanted to fucking eat Peter Quill, like, and and you can be, Peter Quill, you can be T'Challa. I don't care who you are. Like, those are a nasty bunch of dudes, and I just found it weird how somehow it miraculously it just rubbed off on Yondu, and he's just like really heartwarming, kind of wholesome kind of dude. And he's got the whole Ravagers are now going around doing non-profit charity work for planets.
T'Challa's just a
Like-
really good dude.
Yeah,
was
that
Kind of a piece of shit.
that
Yeah.
part didn't bug me as much as the Thanos thing. If I'm being honest, and also I was not a huge fan of the Collector in that episode.
How
He's really
buff do you want to
buff.
make him? The
Yeah,
Chad
he
Lecter.
was
Yeah.
swole, dude.
It was a little weird.
But I mean, it makes sense. He
Does
he's
it?
next. I mean, he's next in line for the power vacuum spot. Got to
Is
get
he?
buff. Got to look intimidating, kind of.
I
He's
guess.
collecting that stuff himself. He's carrying those fucking big cube things
Yeah,
from
he's
other planets all the way to his fucking base.
chopping the arm off of Korg, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was rough when I saw that, because at first I thought it was what's his name, the big guy from the Black Order. I was like, oh, did they
Oh.
they did what's it
Seeing
called,
the Black
man?
Order again was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Uh,
it was cool to
Slave,
see
all
something
those
different,
guys.
right? You know who ruined that whole episode more than anyone was fucking Korath. What the fuck was that about? Like, he's just
No, I loved it.
fucking Star-Lord
loved
the
it.
whole time.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
I
funny.
loved it.
The exact opposite of doing what he
Yeah.
did to
It
Peter.
was funny it was fun for the first like couple of minutes, but then every scene he's popping in like the paperclip from Microsoft Word. It was just but with like just positive vibes, and I was just like, he's never even met Star-Lord before, so how is it
Everybody
change
knows him
him
though, dude.
from a
Yeah.
distance?
Everybody knows T'Challa.
Good dude. He's been
He's a
making
good
waves.
dude, apparently.
Just because you've heard of a dude, it just completely changes you as a dude. I don't know.
Maybe
I thought
he
Korath was
inspires.
annoying.
Maybe he's inspired
Yeah.
Yeah,
by
no.
T'Challa's-
And if anyone could make me believe that, like I
Goodness,
say,
he's-
it
Yeah.
was T'Challa in this episode, because
Yeah.
he was great. But then they ruined it at the end with a casual genocide joke. Like, really, Disney? We're doing a genocide joke?
Hey,
Like-
Thanos was putting the moves on Okoye.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, it doesn't matter
yeah.
because Ego is about to kill every single living thing in the universe.
Yeah,
At
don't
the end of
worry
that.
about it.
that's going to be that's going to be in season 2, right? We're going to get
I
an
don't think
episode
so.
where Ego
I don't think
gets
we see that
Peter
again.
Quill. Really?
No,
Because you've got to assume,
I don't
right,
think
that if
so.
you're just some schlubby nobody, you had childhood trauma when your mum died, you're working a dead end job, and then all of a sudden you get given like godlike ego powers. He's not going to be a good dude. That's some potential for like a big bad Ego
Unless-
and Peter
I-
Quill.
Unless Ego
Duo.
is not planning to suck his son dry of his powers, I don't think we're seeing that area again.
yeah. I don't think
Not-
we'd see like Peter Quill as like an evil, powerful person. I think Ego just shows up and uses him, and uses
Yeah.
him.
No, man, because I
Gets rid
think
of him.
Ego was down for it in Guardians 2, and it was like if Peter Quill would have like been on his side, I feel like they would have just been cool and gone on like a galaxy conquering, fuck fest spree or whatever you want to call it, where they're just going around impregnating women on every planet and just colonizing the whole universe, like like a
What?
playboy father and son.
That's definitely a big what if. That's episode 10.
Yeah, that's episode the secret episode 10. Oh,
So
remember that,
speaking
guys?
of episode
Remember
10,
the secret episode for WandaVision? Jesus.
oh, that was weird. I don't know where that came from. But speaking of episode 10, let's talk about episode 3.
Yes, my favorite
Um,
of the bunch so far.
This is definitely the best episode. This gets it right. It's not too close to the original stuff, but
Mhm.
also the
It makes
divergences
sense.
that it takes completely make sense. I love that we get because Tony Stark dies, Fury is then available to be in Thor for when the hammer
Mhm.
shows up. And that completely makes sense. And then you've got Black Widow because of that event is now with Incredible Hulk at the campus at the university, and it all just ties in perfectly. And the big reference, anyone, I'm assuming this is intentional, but it's Fury's big week, right? Which was the comic they did. It's Fury's. This is
Well,
that basically. It's that storyline, but more than it is like the Avengers movie storyline.
what I love so much about this episode is that it takes something that as fans we've kind of all known, at least fans if they get in deep enough to the MCU and like the timeline stuff, it's always been this kind of not little known but like well known in the fandom that a bunch of the Phase 1 movies take place in like the same week stretch of
Yeah.
time. Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk, Thor all happen in the same week. But that's not something you'd get just by watching the movies. That's something
No.
that like people talk about. So what I love about this episode is that it's telling everybody that it's like, hey, by the way, if you didn't know this, all that shit happened in a week. Like,
Yeah.
and that's wild.
Man, I've got to admit, right, this episode opens up and we're doing the diner scene from Iron Man 2. And like, I'm like, really? Do we really need to like go over like how Fury and Stark met? Do we really want to revisit some of the lamest stuff from oh fuck, Tony Stark just dropped dead. Jesus.
I was more taken aback by remembering that Black Widow made her debut in Iron Man 2. Because like, where did
Yep.
she come from? When did she get introduced? But
Yeah.
Black
Yeah.
Widow,
First as, like-
Iron Man 2.
First as like the seductive secretary at Stark Industries. And that was
Yeah.
weird. That
And then
was
she
she's
beat up
already-
Happy.
And-
She like boxed
yeah.
him out. Yeah.
She beat
Yeah.
up Jon Favreau, who directed that movie. I wonder what that's about.
Hey, I would have done the same thing, dude.
Yeah. Jon Favreau invented that leg wrap round the neck move specifically so it could be done to him, and it
Oh,
kind of
no.
become her signature move. No wonder she's suing. I will say though, Black Widow is one of the best parts of this episode. Even though it's not ScarJo, right? There's no way it's ScarJo.
No, that wasn't ScarJo.
If it wasn't before, or if it was before, it's definitely not now. They would have changed that shit last minute. But her
it
scene
didn't
in
sound
the
like
truck,
her to me.
you thought it did.
I know. I said it didn't.
I'm
sound
definitely
like
gonna
her.
look into it right
I
now.
thought
Looking right
I
now.
thought it was okay. I thought she was a lot more accurate than the
it was
savage
okay.
representation of Betty Ross that
Yeah.
we got in this episode.
Lake
She was an
Bell.
unlikable character.
Oh,
yeah,
Lake
that
Bell,
bit-
the voice of Poison Ivy in Harley Quinn.
That Betty Ross was
Oh.
terrible.
She's an awful
Yeah.
person. She's just so annoying in this episode. She starts off like really like prissy and kind of rude, and then she just gets downright whiny. And then, I mean, to be fair, she does have a point or a reason to be whiny a little bit later on. We're gonna get to that moment because did not know what to think. You
Then
know
we
what I'm
never
talking
saw her again. Betty.
I was shocked that they acknowledged the Incredible Hulk in this episode. I was like, are they even gonna touch that shit? And it was great. I that movie is not great, but I don't think
I like it.
I didn't recognize
think
the
it's fun.
campus until Bruce came out of the closet. And we were in that like concealed bridge, and I was like, "Oh, we're here. We're at this moment."
You know, I know
Ruffalo's-
that movie quite well. I really like that movie, so I knew straight away where
yeah.
it was.
Gonna have to rewatch it for Shang-Chi.
And talking about like
Yeah,
answering,
you're right.
Talking about answering big fan questions or speculation, we get to see a hint of Mark Ruffalo inserted into the Incredible Hulk movie because that's basically what we get. And then
Mhm.
not only that, but when he transforms into the Edward Norton version of
Yeah.
Hulk. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is good, and I should hate that, but I was just loving that just for like all those years of thinking, oh, what if it was Ruffalo from the start, or what if it was Edward Norton's Hulk now, you know, and all of
Mhm.
this
But
stuff.
then
And I thought that
he
was
got
really cool.
inflation
And
or
then
something.
they just fucking blow him up.
They kill the
I thought he
one
was just
that
gonna
shocked
flop
me.
down, but
The one that shocked me was fucking Thor dying. Like the fucking arrow just flying down and Hawkeye's like, I didn't do it. I didn't shoot.
yeah,
Like, so when did you figure out who it was?
not
When
Because
she
like I guess
said, well, when Black Widow's getting her ass beat and she's about to die, and she's like, "It's hope, it's all hope, it's all for hope." I was like from Ant-Man.
well,
What is she doing here?
yeah, that was weird. I picked up on, like, I got a hint of what was going to happen, because when Black Widow's looking on the computer at the like the Avengers files from that Nick Fury had, you see on one of the files is Janet Van Dyne, and then straight away that got me thinking, well, you know, if Fury's keeping tabs on them, then they're going to factor in. And then we start seeing Black Widow getting thrown around by nothing. I was
Yeah.
like, okay. But then I thought it was going to be Janet or Hope. I didn't.
Mhm.
I didn't. When that helmet comes up and we get like
Dude.
rough as fuck looking Michael Douglas, who
He
looked,
fucking killed it. He killed
he
it.
was
Michael
so
Douglas.
good.
Oh, he
Yeah.
was really good.
You know what else
We
was really
talk.
good?
Go on.
Those shots of the Watcher in the sky, dude.
Yeah.
Over the
When
horizon, that was
oh
really
my
cool.
god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
They do
I
it
wish
like
we would get
2 or
more
3
like,
times this episode.
yeah, I wish we would get more like kind of artistic flares, as opposed to like just trying to make it feel, you know, kind of like semi photorealistic and everything really shiny. I like that more Art Deco kind of vibe with the Watcher stuff. I hope we get more of that. It took me out for a second, but just because I wanted to appreciate how cool it looked.
Yeah.
If I wasn't expecting that in like photorealistic, and then we're just gonna, you know, have a nice little overlay, kind of like what we got here. See,
Yeah.
you know, I
So
told you, man, they're producing our show. Go on, Sean.
they are. So have you guys heard the theory about this Loki?
Is
No,
Loki?
is
Yeah,
this going to
the
be
theory.
President Loki?
That's the theory I saw people saying, is that this might be the
Oh,
timeline where President Loki's from.
that
That'd be
kind of
interesting.
makes sense,
Yeah.
because like he's kind of like colonizing the whole world. He's kind of bringing everyone together by, you know, fear.
And you know, like I said, I don't think last episode's getting a follow-up next season. Like, we already know that they're continuing Agent Captain Carter's storyline in season 2. They've said that.
As
I think
well
this
as
episode's
T'Challa's.
Is T'Challa gonna be in season 2?
We're gonna see T'Challa again for sure.
In this season, but
Well, especially
in
with
season 2? Because they didn't record
probably
his
not.
lines
No.
for season 2, I don't think. Yeah. I meant like going into, because we have a confirmed season 2, and they've confirmed that Captain Carter is going to. We're gonna get another Captain Carter episode.
We're going to get a follow from this episode as well, right?
We
We've
have
got
to, right? Like,
there's going to be some badass version of the Avengers where it's
Yeah.
Captain America, Captain Marvel, maybe one
Oh.
of the Ant-Man family, presumably, because like they've got them on board now. So maybe Michael Douglas is helping them. I don't know why I'm calling him
Welcome
Michael
back,
Douglas.
Captain. Was a
That
great
was so
line from.
cool, because he's like
That was
talking to
so
the
good.
shield,
Yeah.
and then she comes up from behind him. They do some
Yeah.
great stuff in this with Nick Fury, with some of his dialogue, the way they repurpose some of his lines from like other movies, but recontextualize them, where he says, well, there was an idea, but now they're all dead. Because that's exactly the lines. There was an idea, but
Yeah.
in the original Avengers, he meant, we have this idea. It's like, no,
We've done
it's past tense now, because they're all murked.
They're all fucking dead. Man,
Yeah.
they really killed him.
Yeah, and I like how it was a surprise to Black Widow as well that her and Barton were on the list for the
Yeah.
Avengers, because the way it's kind of played out in the original movie is that it's like, the list is just like the big four, and then due to the circumstances, Hawkeye and Black Widow kind of just get roped in and just naturally become part of the team. But now we're finding out that I guess Nick Fury always planned for them to factor in, and it just goes to show, like, you know, how great his mind is that he could see how they would be beneficial, even with like gods and, you know, all these other characters. Although I will say the Thor stuff is a bit of a stretch. They don't even know what that is, and it's like Thor's on the list. Really?
But
You
no,
didn't
Thor
even know what the
wasn't.
hammer was.
Thor wasn't on the list.
I thought that's what they kind of implied.
They said
he-
that
but-
he asks, "What about Thor? What about Goldilocks?" Because he wasn't on the list, and Michael Douglas says, "Oh, please, you would have recruited him in seconds." So my interpretation is he was there for Hawkeye and saw Thor and was like, "This dude's gonna be an Avenger." and
Okay,
decided to murk him.
but at the end, when they're looking at the caskets,
Yeah.
why does he have a logo for Thor? Why does he have
It's
logos for
been a
anyone?
while, dude. Maybe it's been a couple days.
He's like, this guy's obviously connected to his hammer. He didn't
Look,
get a chance to
Tyler,
ever pick up.
In Batman versus Superman, okay?
Let's
You think
see
he
the logo.
consulted Loki about hey, Loki, does this work for a logo? You think this is good?
In Batman versus Superman, there's a scene where to introduce the Justice League, they have Bruce Wayne sit at a computer. No, I'm sorry, it's Diana. No, is it Bruce Wayne or is it Diana? I can't remember. It's one of those two fucks.
They both peruse the files at different points
they
in the
sit
movie.
at a computer and there's a folder of files open with videos of each of the members of the Justice League from Lex Luthor, and they each have, for the thumbnails, the hero's symbol. Like, there's a fucking lightning bolt for Flash, there's the C for Cyborg, like, there's the fucking Aquaman
C?
symbol. Yeah, you know how
You can
like,
think of something better than a C?
that's a
With
symbol
a
usually. It's like a
glowing
C.
red light in it. Come on.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen that as Cyborg symbol? Yeah, it's like a C with a glowing red light in the middle. But it's literally the fucking like the idea is that Lex Luthor had his graphic design team work up icons for these would-be superheroes.
But then in this, they even design a logo for Hulk, and it's just a big fist. Like that works for us, like as the audience. But in universe, the idea that
I don't think it's as bad as the
that you would
as the
design a
files
logo.
from Batman.
Could have just
It's
put their
worse.
name on it, you know?
This is as opposed to like, oh, we're gonna have like a cool Hulk fist, like from the merch, you know,
Yeah,
like
maybe put Bruce Banner, the person who's dead.
like we completely disregarded
Yeah, but they
it.
didn't
So
want Banner. They wanted the
so
Hulk.
Hulk gets a dignified military funeral, and Banner just gets fucked
No,
off
fuck
right out of
Banner.
there.
What's Banner gonna do for them?
Oh man, that's harsh.
They both exploded. He's still in the he's in that mist somewhere.
I was like, are they
Just a
gonna
Hulk
cut
Banner
back and
cocktail.
are we gonna cut back to just the blob of fucking where Hulk used to stand? They did not. But I was like, is there just gonna be like this liquid where he used to be?
It's like those exploited beach whales.
Oh,
I
God.
was so shocked that they did it, man. And it kind of actually irritated me going back to that moment, because we talked about in the other episode, like, who are they aiming this at? You know, obviously it's like for kids, but then it's not, it's for adults, but then some of the stuff is like really jokey and
Childish,
played down with the violence and stuff. And then in this episode, it's just like they just blew up a Hulk. So you can't tell me that you can't shoot a Nazi and have them bleed, but you can blow up a Hulk. That's going to traumatize kids way more than shooting a couple of faceless soldiers in the first Avenger.
I thought Thor's death was fucking traumatizing, dude. He gets taken out by that arrow real quick.
It's pretty undignified.
Yeah, I
really.
feel like he shouldn't have.
Yeah,
I
probably
feel
not.
like he. Well, I guess technically at this point.
Oh, he didn't have his powers.
He didn't have his
Yeah.
powers, so I guess
Yeah.
he could take an arrow to the chest and die. But
It reminded me of.
that's so long ago.
I remember when the first trailer for Thor came out, and in the trailer they had the moment of Darcy using the taser on him,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the comment sections of everywhere was going insane, of all these Thor fans like, oh, can't believe that the God of Thunder is getting nerfed, taken out by a fucking taser. And it was just like, relax, guys, he clearly hasn't got his powers then. And that's what this reminded me of. But then, as we found out in Ragnarok, the power was in Thor all along. So
Yeah, but he
I
didn't
was.
know that. Remember, he had to learn
Yeah.
that.
It was
If
a
you're
mental
wearing a
block. It was a
bulletproof
mental
vest
block.
and you don't know you're wearing a bulletproof vest, it still works. So
Well,
Thor
okay,
got
okay,
murked. It
okay.
was brutal. He should not have got. He should have taken at least 2 arrows. Come on.
Now here's a question: Is the Arthur's powers like? Is it his outfit that makes him like? Have we seen him get shot like where there's no armor and just have a bullet do nothing to him? Like
We've
his
not.
powers are lightning based. Should he have invulnerability and shit like that? Like,
I
have we
mean,
ever?
it's implied
How
that
often
he
do we see him
does.
fight without armor?
Yeah. See, so
Very
like,
rarely little,
I
if any at
Yeah.
all.
It's implied that
whenever,
he's
even in
invulnerable
Endgame,
without it,
he
but he
gets
has
armor.
to. He has to
Yeah.
have the hammer though, right? And he doesn't necessarily have to be holding the hammer. He just has to be like worthy and have, I guess,
I don't know.
recently
Thor's
touched the
powers
hammer.
don't. Thor's powers don't make any fucking sense.
No,
Yeah.
they do because he has to spin it to fly. That makes sense.
At least they
That's
don't have
scientific.
Myth Loki, you know? I don't know if you read that conversation, Sean, about
No.
Myth Loki.
No, I did not.
Where his children, you know,
Okay.
in mythology, Loki, his
Yeah.
children is like
Yeah.
a spider horse that he birthed.
Oh yeah. Well, that's yeah.
Yeah, we don't
All
want
the
that.
mythology's fucking weird, dude.
That's coming soon in
Mythology's
What If season 2.
Yeah, that's season 2, episode.
That's Loki
12.
season 3.
Can we let's talk about Loki for a minute as well?
Yeah.
Because when Loki and the army show up, which is really cool, that whole scene
Yeah.
with the SUVs and the army and and
Yeah.
the Vikings and stuff.
And Sif's there, and I
Yeah,
guess the other 3 are there. We don't
yeah,
really
the
get to see
Warriors,
them,
Warriors.
but-
three are in there.
Yeah.
You don't really see them much, but I definitely saw Volstag's beard. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when they all showed up, I was like, oh, so because of the events that haven't happened now with the Thor movie, Loki, because he's planning the Thor movie, was to like come down to Earth and, you know, just take over everything. So I was like, oh, Loki's just going to come and wreck shop now. Because at that point, I'm thinking Loki's behind this, right? I'm thinking he's got
Yeah.
somebody on the inside in S.H.I.E.L.D., like where we see in one of the post-credit scenes where he's like possessing people in the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters to see what they're up to and stuff. So he knew about the list. And I was like, oh, so now he's done that, taken out everyone, and then he's going to come to Earth. And I was pleasantly surprised. It was like, no, actually, I'm just pissed off. Like,
You killed my brother.
fuckers killed Thor. You
If
motherfucker.
anybody's gonna kill
I-
my brother, it's me.
I assume he was watching to get ready for the scene where Thor's in captivity and he shows up in the
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it would have been from then, but you know, and he's got the casket of ancient winters, which now he's building castles with it and everything.
I
That's
love that.
pretty
Like,
fun.
I love that. I love the ending where he's like, "I think I might stay here for how long?" And then it just cuts one day later. I've taken over the world. Like, it's so good.
It'd be pretty easy.
I want to know how
Without
that
the
interaction
Avengers?
went down, though. That conversation, like, did Fury just hand it over to him, just like, yeah, sure, because Fury knows that he's got Captain Marvel coming
Yeah,
down the pipeline.
when he goes to pick up the pager, I'm like, if they're with to summon Captain Marvel right now to fight Loki, that'd be pretty wild. She'd
mean-
whoop his ass, but
You would assume so. I mean, even with like all the other Asgardians, like the way that, you know, considering Thanos was able to wipe out like a whole ship full of Asgardians, and Captain Marvel was apparently able to do pretty well against Thanos, even with a
Yeah.
gauntlet, you know. So
seems like if you're not like one of the
Well,
name
good guy Thanos
name
will come
gods,
down
you're like
and-
sort of a bitch, you know, as far as
Yeah.
Asgardians go.
Yeah, Hela really fucking slaughtered like every single one of them in Ragnarok, like really
Yeah,
easily.
they took a beating, man, because I read somewhere, and I think this was official, but all the people that died from Hela and on the Asgardian ship did not count towards the 50% of people that
No,
were wiped out
they
by
did not.
Thanos.
no.
They
So-
were already gone.
They're just shrinking. So they're just half in it, and then half in it, and then half in the Asgardians again until
But
you've
by
got
the
like.
time you get to fucking in game or whenever they go pick
Who's
up Thor,
left?
it's like 50 people, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just single file out of a portal. It did
But hey,
take long.
They brought back another 50. When
Or wait,
when
who
they
knows? You know what?
snapped.
As Thanos said, It's random. We don't. It could be anyone actually.
Oh
You
man,
know,
that's brutal. When
I guess
not
that's true.
necessarily.
Yeah.
so Hulk snaps like half the Asgardians back, and then Thor's like, "Where's the rest of them?" It's like, "Nah,
It's
sorry,
like,
man, that they don't count. They're not
they
part of the
don't
deal.
count.
Yeah. No.
You only get these ones." It's like, but all the ones on the ship, I had friends on Asgard. No, sorry, man.
Shouldn't have
That
unleashed Surtur. I don't,
them's the rules.
That was the rules.
Oh man, right. What else are we missing in this episode? Anyone got anything else?
It was just really good. I just really liked it. I mean, I'm I don't like okay, so if we're building to a team up, right? Which I think is probably what's happening. We got Captain Carter. We got T'Challa Star Lord.
Mm-hmm.
You think we got anybody for a team up from this one? I don't think so. I think this is a universe
Not
where they
really.
just
I
got
was
fucked.
kind of hoping, a small part of me, when because like we go through majority of the episode with no mention of Captain America whatsoever. So a small
Mhm.
part of me was hoping, is this the Captain Carter universe? And
Ooh,
then we're
that would have
gonna
been
get
interesting.
Captain Carter, Captain Marvel, and that kind of stuff. But as it
Yeah.
turned out, no. Oh, let's talk
No.
about Coulson, because he's the Korath of this episode.
Oh
He was pissing me off.
no, I fucking loved it. Okay, look, I love Clark Gregg. I love Coulson. I
I
love
love
the
the
Thor
yeah, me
jokes.
too.
They're so good in this.
Really, his dead
I
corpse smells
loved it.
like lavender.
I don't care. It was funny. And then because I think if it just he had said it, it would have been not good. But I think
Because
it's
Fury
what makes
acknowledged
it
it.
funny is Fury sniffs. He goes, "What the fuck?" He's like,
Yeah, it kind of
yeah,
does.
yeah. I think that's what makes it funny.
And but then the whole password thing, it's like, I love Steve, 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 I love Steve 2000, whatever it was. I was like, in this universe, I mean, I know he obviously liked him growing up, but like calling him Steve and not I love Captain America, that kind of bugged me. I don't know. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
pretty nitpicky,
I
but
think
I just
so.
like, he wouldn't have been like, he was only that way in the Avengers because meeting the dude reawakened his childhood love of that dude, and he's not met him yet. He's still just like, he's not even like known that if they're
But
gonna
he
find
will.
him at that point.
He will meet him in season 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Although
I
we
mean,
already do know some of the other team up characters.
hit me. Who we got?
Thor. We know there's going to be another version of Thor.
Party
Oh yeah,
Thor.
there's the
Yeah.
party Thor guy. Yeah.
We know we're going to get Michael B. Jordan as Black Panther.
Oh yeah.
Is he actually Black Panther, or is it just like a universe where
I feel like it was definitely black because you in the promo shots you see the suit and
okay, I haven't seen
Yes.
any of
it
that
has
stuff.
it has like the dots on him like he has on his
Yes.
skin.
Right. There would probably be a much different kind of Black Panther, I would imagine, and one who's presumably sharing all that lovely technology with the rest of us. So
At some point, we're
that's
gonna get. I don't think any of the zombies are gonna come into play. Obviously, not for a team up. We might see
maybe
Spider-Man as the Sorcerer Supreme.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, dark,
I mean,
dark Doctor Strange, like the kind of
Yeah.
evil-looking Doctor
Yeah.
Strange.
The
I mean,
one
there's
who's
got to
like
be
really
some
sleepy.
kind of like regular like human or hero character in the zombies episode, right? It can't just all be zombies.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh well, in the zombies we saw not necessarily a regular human, but we saw Bucky
Oh
on the
yeah.
opposite end of that train.
Yeah, he was. Yep. He was
Yeah,
fighting like a zombie Cap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe because Bucky's been frozen or he's like in stasis as the Winter Soldier, that he's not affected by, and then he gets that 28 days later moment where he wakes up, and because Hydra probably wouldn't have been able to do all the shit that they did to him because they would have been turned into zombies, right? So then he just gets left, wakes up, everyone's a zombie. I'm Bucky. I can't remember who I am. All I know is that these zombies have got to go. And then we get Bucky versus the Marvel Universe, which would be pretty cool. It'd definitely make up for the Bucky we got in the other episode. But Sebastian Stan, man, he needs to bring that down a couple of notches before he starts fighting zombies, because he was just
they really punched it up for the cartoon.
Yeah, so me and Sean talked about this. Like, you can tell some of these actors are just not translating as well to voice acting as as you would want them to. It's a very different skill. But Michael Douglas, apparently, he's just fucking great at everything.
He was really good. He was really good.
He is so good. I mean, a lot of it was to do with the way, like, the design of the character, like, it really not only was the likeness spot on, but just like the hallowed look in his eyes, because obviously he already
writing.
Yeah, really good writing with his dialogue, but obviously he already lost his wife, as a superhero, then to lose his daughter as well, and he's wearing the yellow jacket. We get to see Hank Pym as like classic looking yellow jacket,
and he's not Sebastian Stan going, you almost ripped my arm off.
I hated that so much. I fucking hated that line. That just
Who ordered the calamari?
Yeah, that was some rough stuff, man. Absolutely rough. But we're definitely on a trajectory. Go on.
I was gonna ask, what do we think next week is? And you know what? Not what do we think. We have no reason to ever think anything. What do we want next week to be? What is like?
What out of the episodes that we know we're getting?
Or maybe, I mean, do we know every single episode?
How many are there? 10.
There's 9 because they moved one to season 2.
Oh, don't forget the secret WandaVision episode. But
you're right. There is 10 because there's the secret WandaVision episode at the end of it all.
So I'm looking at the thing now. So we've got the zombies one. We still haven't seen like Thanos, Gamora, whatever universe that's from. We've got the Ultron episode. Are they the same episode? Because the premise of that is that Ultron has the Infinity Stones, so maybe Gamora, is she going to come and take them from Ultron? Is that the thing, or are they separate episodes?
We have Killmonger saving Tony Stark.
Ultron with the Infinity Stones is a pretty good team up.
They could all.
I don't know if that's a single episode, or not a single episode, but a single like one-off thing.
I kind of just assume we're just going to get a whole episode of just like the Earth, and probably the whole universe is being like molded in Ultron's image, and it's just like Terminator times a million with just the robot future all over the galaxy. But that could be something that you would have everyone team up against. But the characters that we've seen, there's not enough. That's not enough. Maybe you throw in the Captain Marvel and the Spider-Man Supreme or whatever you call him. That's a tall order. That's a really tall order.
I really want them to continue to kind of. Actually, I don't know. So
we've seen Vision too, as well.
Yeah, I've heard there's a Vision centric. I don't know anything about it other than there's maybe a Vision centric episode.
I really want the zombies episode. I think that's mine. I just want that zombies
Clint
episode.
Clint as the Hulk? That's gonna be weird.
What?
Hawkeye as the Hulk?
I think that's in the first trailer.
Wow, I've not heard about that. I mean, I could see that being really fun. I could also see that being like how, Captain Kai just like, oh, I guess I'll volunteer for the procedure. And then it's just the same. It's just the same movie, but now Hulk's really good at throwing things.
Now Hulk's not as smart.
Yeah, he's not smart. Like, he's just throwing like cars with pinpoint accuracy.
Professor Hulk, but it's Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, Hulk. I mean, we got to call him Hawkeye, right? That's got to be
not as interesting as Mark Ruffalo or fucking.
Yeah. The Mark Ruffalo, it was weird. Did I say some of the likenesses in this episode? We got some of the best ones, and some of the worst ones. Like Samuel Jackson just looks like it's just Samuel Jackson, like cross media platform, whatever, however you want him. Samuel Jackson is as he is. Coulson looked great. We get Crossbones or what's the character's name?
We do get Crossbones.
Rock Lumlow. He looked, and he barely even has any lines in this. And straight away, I was just like, I know
Yeah,
who
that's
that
him.
guy
I know
is.
who that guy is.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
He
him.
was great.
Yeah.
And that whole scene with Black Widow in the truck fighting all the dudes, just punching faces
Oh, that scene was
constantly.
awesome.
That
scene
was so
rocked.
great. Like that was some of the most satisfying stuff in this episode. Not like it wasn't. Other than that, it wasn't necessarily like it wasn't really an action-heavy episode. It was
No,
more
it was
just
like a murder mystery.
exactly that murder mystery, like like Nick Fury in Knives Out 8,
Oh, yes.
or Hammers Out. Anyway, how long we been going, guys?
40
Right,
minutes.
it's
I mean,
40 minutes.
that's-
There's the time right there. Yeah. Anyone got any final thoughts? Then we'll wrap this up.
I liked it.
Heard it here first, guys.
I forget what I wanted to say about the first episode,
Okay.
but I wasn't here for that.
No.
That's all right. You go for it, and then we'll
Peggy,
tie it back in.
Peggy
Oh.
really beat their ass. Like she really went in.
Yeah.
Like way more fighting stuff than Steve ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
A lot more
brutal.
brutal. Yep.
But not like evil brutal in any way. It was just like more like calculated. Like I'm just gonna, instead of like boxing with you for 5 minutes like Steve would, she's just gonna punch your kneecap out and then boom, move on to the next dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I definitely like that. One thing I will say before we go as well is the crazy Nick Fury at the end. I was like, what the fuck is going on when
Oh,
he's
yeah.
fighting Ant-Man, and Ant-Man who's just wiped out all the Avengers at this point, beating Black Widow in hand-to-hand combat, and then all of a sudden Fury's just like neoing.
The second he did the flip, I was like, "Oh, this is Loki. This isn't Fury."
The flip was too much. I was like, I was having flashbacks of Attack of the Clones with Yoda. I was like, this is really cool to look at, but also it kind of ruins the fabric of the character a little bit. And then he does the flip, and I was like, oh, okay, there's something extra going on here. And then
I at first was like, did he take a super soldier serum? Like I
did.
That was my first thought, and then I was like, no wait, it's got to be Loki.
Yeah, I love this President Loki theory, because that would make sense, right? He becomes the president of like the Earth.
Yeah.
Then why would he have a badge on? Don't
it says tell him to vote.
Why would you tell them to vote?
Point.
Like, who are they? Who else are they voting for? Loki's the only option.
Maybe he's trying to get them to vote in that end of the world place. Maybe he's trying to hold a.
He's running up against Ultron.
In where the TVA grab people. He's like,
and he's also running against the third candidate, the one that always drops out. It's gonna be the
Beast
who's
thing
like
from Loki.
what's like some jobber villain?
Yellow Jacket.
Stain's pretty cool, kind of. God, it's just jokes falling apart the longer I think
Christopher
about it.
Eccleston's fucking Malekith, from Thor 2.
Yeah, no one likes that guy.
even Christopher Eccleston. You ever hear some stuff with that guy? Like, he don't even want to talk about Doctor Who. Malekith got no chance.
It took him a long time to get him back to Who.
Does he pop back in? Does he for a
He does. Not in the TV show yet, but he just came back for the audio dramas they do.
Last thing I'll say about episode 1 is when they do continue the Peggy Carter stuff, Captain Carter, which is a weird name for the character, anyways.
Yeah.
There goes her secret
I wonder what
identity.
they'll do with, like, they can't do like a Winter Soldier story, because Bucky is, well, one, wasn't really your friend, and two, that sounds, and two didn't get experimented on.
You should have heard my theory for when we were talking about that episode. It's like, because I thought they were going to do the Winter Soldier stuff to Steve, and I thought they were going to like biologically graft him into the metal suit that he was in, and then force him to fight for Hydra trapped inside the metal suit. That would have been
cool, wouldn't it?
Dark as fuck. But I didn't think they would go there. But then they blew up the Hulk. So like, come on.
They did blow up.
If Steve stuck around, that means he could have helped found Shield instead of Peggy. Him and
Yeah.
Oh man, what if he's
Him
like?
and Bucky.
What if he's like? I don't know, man. It'd be cool,
What
but I
if?
just don't see how
What
he
if?
survives. To be honest,
what
he's
if?
ill.
What if?
What if he did survive? Because no
What if-
super soldier serum. He's not living till 2011. There's no
No,
way.
No.
but
He
but-
would still be alive though.
yeah, he'd
Well,
still be around
would
to
he?
start Shield at the beginning. He might
Because
not
she
be
was
alive.
Peggy was still alive, at least during Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but he
Shield
was
was a
sickly.
thing.
He was super sickly before he got the serum. He's got like asthma and like
That's also
18
true.
other like diseases.
That's true.
Man's a little cesspool.
Maybe he's got Howard Stark to juice him up.
Yeah.
I was saying, man, he's going to
That
be
guy's
in a,
got
he's
all
going to
sorts of
be living
drugs.
forever in a robot suit like Arnim Zola. That's what I
And
want to
seeing
see.
seeing an Iron Man start from back then and then
Yeah.
develop into whatever it'd be at the point Tony would start.
I'm so interested in that universe in the modern age
Season
of that
2.
that timeline of what if Howard Stark develops the Iron Man suit, then what does society look like in the present day? Some of
Yeah.
that stuff is just more interesting to me than some of the stuff that we're actually getting, and some of these cliffhangers are more exciting than what we got. But this episode definitely satisfied. It really played out like its own little story that borrowed lovely amount of elements from other different stories, and I think they really hit the balance right with this one, and I just hope that trajectory continues. But we'll see
We'll see.
next week. What if?
Do you want me to end it there?
Anyway.
Am I supposed to end it? What am I? Oh, okay.
You tell the people where they can find you, Sean. That's what you could do.
Yeah, remember that part?
Did we do that? Well, right,
You do that.
right there at Sean_AFK on Twitter. Everything I do is in my bio.
Tyler, where are we finding you?
At the same place at Sean_AFK on Twitter. You'll be able to find me there. You'll see me at some point. Just scroll down a bit.
Yeah,
Had your
at some
identity
point.
stolen. Oh man, can't believe you were appropriating Sean's culture. There we go. Or appropriating
My
his whole
culture
identity.
of being constantly on Twitter.
Yes.
Sean's culture of gamer.
And you can
Oh,
find
please
me
don't.
playing Kingdom Hearts. No, you will not find me playing Kingdom Hearts or whatever game it is that I'm not cool enough to play with these two guys here. You'll find me on Twitter at Dean Lewis 2099, where I will talk about all the stuff that I'm doing, like watching this new movie called Tenet. I did a whole thread about that the other day. Go and
You
check
did.
that out. There was more to it, but I've never done like a whole thread that long before, and I accidentally deleted some. Anyway, that was a whole thing. I literally did the whole movie and then like lost half the movie. But you can go see my thoughts on the first half of Tenet on Twitter, which is basically technically all of Tenet. So it kind of is on brand for Tenet. Also, Tenet can suck my balls, Nolan, you pretentious piece of shit.
And on that note,
See you later, guys.